Well, Andrew, thank you for sparing time to talk to us. I know you're literally just off to go into a school in a couple of minutes, so
that's right. Yep.
Managed to catch you. Why do they call you Fishtail?
It's a funny story that my wife actually came up with the name Fishtail. She believes that it depicts a little bit about how I drive on the streets around Sydney and in Canberra when I was growing up. So not a story we tell other kids when we go into the schools, but yeah, it's sort of it certainly is. The right foot's a little bit heavy sometimes when I'm driving around the streets.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, the Ute series, one of the things about the Ute series is it's about it's about entertainment, and so part of the characteristics of it is you have to have a nickname and that sort of stuff. And so we went through all these different nicknames, and she came up with the Fishtail, and obviously having the last name Fisher and that sort of stuff, and being fishers of men and all that sort of stuff, it seemed to work well for us.
Well, Andrew, tell us how you first got into motorsports.
Look, yeah, motorsport came about. I've got some friends and myself. We've always had nice cars. We've been very lucky to have some nice cars. So we've always been interested in motor cars and you know, fast cars obviously as well. And so I got a phone call from a friend of mine one day, and he said, "Look, there's a race down at Wollongong, down at Goulburn, and you know, it was an endurance race, and so it was an opportunity for us to go down there. 3 guys in the car, 500 kilometres, 221 laps." It was a opportunity too good to refuse. It was 10 grand between the 3 of us, so it wasn't that expensive. And yeah, I put my hand up and said, "Yeah, let's go and do it."
You've done quite well since then. Last year I saw you were Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, look, we raced in MGs, and then I got the bug and absolutely loved the racing and particularly the technical side of it. And so we joined the Lotus series, and we joined the MG series, and we came 3rd in the Lotus Championship, and then we moved into the Ute series last year, which is a very competitive series, probably about the 3rd most competitive series in Australia in motor racing. And we just wanted to take that step up.
Oh, Andrew Fisher off the road and through the side.
Grab a gear, go, go.
Oh, gear! Oh, hear that? Now it's a drag race. Ford and Holden, Kim Jane and Andrew Fisher. Fisher's up the inside. He's going to steel race too.
Oh, Kim Jane had it. It was there. He could smell it. He could see it, and it's all over.
So Andrew Fisher takes his first win ever in the Yokohama V8 Ute, and what a way to do it.
Your outfit is called Jesus Racing, and you have a huge sign on the side of the car which says Jesus.
That's right, that's exactly right. And as my colleague says, Steve Peach, who travels around the country with me, it's not a case that I couldn't get any sponsorship, so I thought I'd put Jesus on. It was a real decision. It's a commercial decision we had to make because we had sponsorship on the Lotus from organisations, and basically it was really a position of faith for me. I wanted to step up and really I guess be more overt in my Christian faith. Funny story was I originally just thought of putting a sticker on the back with the fish symbol or Jesus or John 3:16 on there or something like that. And I'd come home from a conference and sort of said to my wife how I'd been challenged by that, and she said, "Well, hey mate, if you're going to do it, you're going to step up. Why don't you put Jesus all about life down the side of your car?" And as you can imagine, I said, "Thanks for that. What a great idea. Thanks. Why don't I put freak across my forehead as I go back into the motor racing?" So yeah, look, it was a great challenge by her, and we obviously we're supporters of the Jesus All About Life program, which is a contemporary program that runs for 6 weeks in prime time media campaign that's running throughout Australia. And we're very supportive of that. It's run by the Bible Society of New South Wales, and so if I was going to put Jesus on it, the contemporary nature of that program, which is taking the whole religion out of the framework and putting Jesus very central to the framework, really sat well with us and our family. So that was the obvious brand to carry if that's what we're going to do.
I think what makes this a bit different though is that you're not amateurs having a go, are you? This is a real professional outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so important to us, and anything I do. I mean, I'm a marketer by trade, and I own a business consultancy firm. And for me, if we were going to do it, we had to do it right, because the quintessential image of Christians, as you know, is that it's sort of daggy and it's dorky and it's all that sort of stuff. And so for us, if we were going to do it, we needed to really be professional in the way that we go about our racing. And so obviously we've got the uniforms, that are very professional. The car looks great. V8, you know, and obviously being competitive in the series was another part that was very important. And so coming fourth in the championship last year, winning Rookie of the Year, having a couple of race wins is all really important to the credibility, the street credibility of the Jesus Racing program.
Because the other interesting thing is that it gives you an opening into schools. I imagine that when you turn up at a school like you are today, they're quite pleased to see you.
Yeah, look, it really does, and not just Christian schools. You know, today we're at a public school, and you know, that's a great opportunity for us to go in and talk to kids about courage. You know, and once again, the message that we go in with is based around, it's a professional message. We go in and we talk about you know, the courage it takes to race a motor car at 260 plus kilometres an hour and race door handle to door handle and all that sort of stuff. We then talk about a story to do with my family, you know, because the motor racing is a connection obviously with the boys. It's a very strong connection. And then we talk about a story to do with my family. My daughter was born with half a heart, and so we had quite an interesting journey through in the early parts of her life, living in hospitals and going through sort of 23 operations and open heart surgeries and that sort of stuff. And so that's a really emotional connection point, both with the boys and the girls. And as I tell that story, you could just hear a pin drop on the ground. It's just, you've caught their attention. And then, of course, we then turn it to the courage that they need in decision making for their life, and not listening to just the people around them, not just accepting what the media says or what their friends say, their peer group say about, you know, Christianity or about Jesus, recognising for themselves maybe for the first time they've got to look at who Jesus is. And we actually have a V8 Ute Gospel of Luke that the Bible Society provides to us, and we actually offer that to them. We don't force it on them, but we just offer for them to come and get that, and maybe to look at who Jesus is for the first time in their life. And the take-up rate of that at schools, particularly public schools, is just extraordinary. You know, we stand down the front. I don't stand at the back at the door trying to hand it out. We stand at the front. The kids have got to come and line up to get one. And basically, you know, we get like an 80 to 85% take-up rate of these kids wanting to come and take a Gospel of Luke and have a look at it for themselves.
Let's talk a bit about Bathurst. I'll put my petrol head on now. Sure. Bathurst is unique, isn't it?
It's extraordinary. You know, what a circuit. I've had the privilege of racing there many times, and I was up there in the 12-hour this year in a Lotus for Lotus Cars Australia. Asked me to be their lead driver, and that was a real privilege as well. And to sort of spend 4 hours, or just over 4 hours, in a race car around Bathurst over in sort of within 12 hours was just a remarkable experience. And so, look, yeah, we're going back up there. I get to race 2 cars this year. I get to race the Ute, because we go up there in the Utes, and I get to race in that series, but I also get to race in the Fujitsu V8 supercar, and that's going to be an amazing event for the Jesus Racing team.
Correct. Well, it's a fantastic story. It's really exciting stuff. So, Andrew, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, look, thanks for the interest and all the support. Cheers.
Well, Martin, let me turn to you. Now, Andrew's racing team is part of a Bible Society campaign. That's pretty unusual for a Bible Society, isn't it?
I suppose it is, Alan, but when you consider that what Andrew is doing is taking the brand that we created, which is called Jesus All About Life, and putting that on the side of the Ute. So we created the brand, if you like, if you can call Jesus a brand. He then took that and put it on the side of his Ute. So the brand is about a primetime media campaign. So Andrew is a bit like, you know, taking the brand, putting it on the Ute, and now a supercar, and running that brand around the racetrack. So it is actually quite related.
So what sort of reaction are you getting from people?
Well, certainly on the racetrack, he's getting a phenomenal amount of response. People are stunned, amazed, surprised. He'll tell you that. And also, though, they're getting people who are saying, hey, it's great that you're getting into the racetrack. Andrew says that, you know, to him the racetrack is a bit like the church for people who go to the racetrack, so that they don't go to church on Sundays, they go racing. So, you know, he's actually taking Jesus to their church. So, you know, there's mixed reaction, but Andrew's a great guy, he has integrity, he has honesty. You know, he's a competitive driver, but he gets a very good response.
So Andrew's really quite a secret ingredient, really, isn't he?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. So, yeah, what Andrew is doing is really taking the profile, taking the brand name. He's a great ambassador for the project, and actually putting that into schools, as is happening today, but also into church conferences. He's speaking at the Hillsong Men's Convention later this year. So he's really taking that profile of Jesus All About Life into the places that we want to get it into, so they'll get on board as churches for next year in Sydney.
Martin, thank you very much. I hope that the campaign continues to go really well.
Okay, and look, you know what, Alan, we want to bring it to New Zealand, so look out.
Excellent.
Maniki's through, but Andrew Fisher, the Jesus Ford, hallelujah, straight through.